I know I am a little late for this, and I know the game is going to get a recode/revamped version soon, but there's still some people playing the game, so I figured, even with the revamp coming, it's worth breaking things down for now, while it still matters for those still playing. And if the development continues at this pace, we will have the game around for a few more months. So let's begin. With the new overhaul update, survivor upgrades have been added to the game. These upgrades give the survivors either passives or active abilities that you can use. Now with having variety, some abilities ought to be better than the rest. Now let's go over them one by one for you to choose the right ones while playing. Let's start with the first and the only ability that is free, Taskmaster. Taskmaster allows you to highlight every objective in the map for around 5 seconds and has a cooldown of 8 seconds. This ability is easily spammable, with you probably ending the cooldown of the ability before reaching a task. For example, let's say that you highlight an objective and going for it. Till you make it to the objective, cooldown of the ability will be over and you will be able to use again. So for beginner players, this is a must have, and for seasoned players, it's still a fairly useful ability to have. So I will rank it S tier. Next, we have the Energy Burst. Energy Burst gives you a temporary 20% speed boost for a short period of time and slows you down after that period ends. So I would say against monsters like Vapor, Stricken, Inkfell, or generally all slow monsters, this can be pretty useful to have. But against monsters like PCX, rest in peace, and Fogborn, this may be a death sentence if they teleport onto you after you use the ability. With you being slowed down, monsters who have either very fast sprint speeds or teleportation abilities will have an easier time killing you. So with having both pros and cons, I would say this ability is a B tier. It has potential to be good, but it's pretty monster dependent. Next, we have the Sixth Sense. When using this ability, you emit an AoE effect, and if there's any monsters nearby, they will be highlighted. If you think about it, it's useful, but in practice, it's pretty mid. The AoE effect is not really that big, and the monsters can see the effect also making you vulnerable. So if you could equip infinite abilities, this would potentially be useful. But with the survivors only being able to equip 2 abilities at once, this is mostly a waste of a slot. So I would say this ability is an E tier. It's insanely situational and barely does anything. Next is the first passive ability on the list, which is the Living Beacon. Living Beacon doesn't profit you in any way, but profits other survivors. If you get hit, you will be highlighted for a short period of time, and every survivor on the map will be able to see you, thus seeing where the monster is. I would say for the team, this is an amazing advantage, but for solo purposes, it's practically useless. So I would rank it a solid B tier. If someone has this, or even better multiple people have this, the round would be way easier. Unfortunately, not so many people use this though. Next, we have another passive ability, which is Break Free. Break Free grants you a speed boost after getting a bomb break and makes it possible to escape in some dire situations. After the speed boost ends, you will still get the bomb broken effect. So this ability is nice to have, but most of the times if you get bone broken, the monster will not leave you alone. And against some monsters like Uncle Samsonite or a Max, this ability would be useless. Because of the both monsters two-shotting you, you will never get the bone broken effect, thus never activating the ability. But generally, it's still nice to have, so I'm giving it a C tier. Next, we have another passive in this list, which is Double Down. Double Down makes it so if you use a single item like flashbangs or first aid kits, there's a chance of you not losing the item upon usage. So this ability is a gambler's dream, making your whole gimmick based around the chance. Now there are 2 reasons why this ability is not good. 1. It's chance based, and if you're unlucky, you won't even profit on this ability. And 2. Single use items are not really too necessary or good. Don't get me wrong, when you're low health, a medkit can come in clutch, but these stations are rare, and you are not even guaranteed to find an item in the map. So overall, this ability is weird, and it has an insanely situational gimmick, and it gets a D tier from me. Now we have the Cloacked ability. This ability makes so if you activate it, you'll turn invisible. Invisibility lasts for 6 seconds and you cannot sprint while being invisible. Now in some maps like February Frights or The World, while invisible, you can make turns in the map and make the monster lose you. This ability can really come in clutch if you are low on health or out of stamina, cause you do not need stamina to use this ability, and generally this is pretty nice to have. But it's pretty map dependent, and if the monster can deal splash damage like Inkfell or have huge hitboxes like Vist, they can still damage you and you won't be able to escape cause of no sprint. So I will rank this ability A tier. Although having both pros and cons, pros overweight the cons by a huge margin. Next, we have the single best ability in my opinion, being the Rewind. Rewind makes so you're teleported to your location 7 seconds ago. It takes checkpoints of your location every 7 seconds and upon activation, teleports you to there with consuming the stamina of walking there by foot. Now when chased, this ability is a lifesaver with you running for 7 seconds and using the ability to return to your origin. Although consuming stamina to go back, even if you run out of stamina, it still teleports or rather moves you back. So you would turn back to the origin with being out of of bed while the monster still has to run all the way back. And on top of this, the ability can take you through the origin by any means, meaning you can face through walls. Let's say you were here on the map and you run all the way to here. When using the ability, you expect it to move back like this, but no, it directly moves you back to the origin through the walls. So in some scenarios, you can cover up a ton of meters, and when you teleport back, you would still have enough stamina to not run out of breath. Cause remember, it spends as much time as it moves you. So in this scenario, it spends a little bit of stamina instead of a huge amount. So overall, this ability is insane and genuinely makes it insanely fun to play the game. So with ease, I will rank this ability as plus tier. You should use this ability. And even if the vaulting gets removed from the game, it will still be an insanely useful ability. Next, we have Clarity. Clarity makes so if you have full stamina, your view gets significantly increased. So you can camp in the corner of the map, viewing everything miles away. But this ability doesn't really fit the game in my opinion, cause it promotes camping and not really running out of stamina to clear. And the continuous fog and no fog cycles can be annoying as you run and stop multiple times. So I will say, although it's pretty damn fun, it is still pretty useful and I will rank it an A tier. It's good, but not fun. Next, we have Parry Stance. When using Parry Stance, a distinct sound cue plays as the survivor enters the Parry Stance, holding an arm up to their face. If they are attacked during this time, they will restore 10 stamina, nullify the damage taken, and knock the monster back towards the direction they are facing. But if the user fails the parry, they will briefly take 25 extra damage from M1 attacks afterwards. So against unexperienced players, this can be useful, but against people who know the game, it is significantly worse, cause the monster can just wait and deal extra 25 damage. And the monster knockback isn't good, with only knocking the monster back like 1 second of sprinting for the monster. So I will say, this ability is pretty bad, so I will give it a D tier. Next, we have Duplicate. From the hit animation series Invincible. Duplicate spawns a copy of yourself that runs in the direction that you are going. With good ability usage and bot-like movements, you can sometimes trick the monster, but generally it doesn't work. Monsters will mostly understand which one of you is real and go after you anyways. Now this ability can only be good with the help of other abilities like Cloacked, but it depends on other abilities for being good. So I will get a B tier. Next we have this ability makes so the first hit that you took from any incoming attack will be ignored and you will lose 10 stamina. After that, it goes to an insanely long 90 seconds cooldown. So generally, this ability is nice against monsters like MX or Vapor, the guys who deal a lot of damage, but with having insane cooldown, I would say it's only decent and not good. Cooldown really brings this ability down. I will rank it C tier. Next we have X-Plode from the hit series Invincible. The ability makes so you yell my entire goddamn skeleton head and explode, blinding the killer and setting their stamina to 0. This ability is insanely useful and it can set the stamina to 0 and blind the monster and more stuff. Cooldown in the wiki says, trust me, you won't need to use it more than once, and I don't really get what they mean by that. So this ability is peak and you can explode, which is cool. S plus tier. Next and the last ability we have currently is Super Slider. As its name states, Super Slider makes so when you slide, you move further than a regular slide, but instead of consuming 30 stamina, it consumes 54. So with one slide, half your stamina is gone. I would say there are probably scenarios which this will be decent, but generally using those 54 stamina would be more beneficial. So I'm making this ability a D tier. And with that, the video is over. If you liked it, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1k subs and this would be insanely helpful. So again, thanks for watching and see ya!